Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis, and today's deck is called Try for Tergrid. And we say try because I only have one copy. Most of the other discard decks that I've done, I end up just playing the Lantern because it's one, cheaper, it's easier to do, you can untap it and make them discard a couple of cards in one turn. So Tergrid's Lantern, especially if you get it out early in the game, can be a game winner all by itself, especially if you're facing off against another black deck. However, on this one, the rule is we don't use the Lantern, we try and use Tergrid, God of Fright. So with that, these are the recent changes that I made to the deck. I made sure to add a Field of Ruin, and I made sure to add a Coveted Prize so that if I am ready for Tergrid, and I think I can handle putting her down on the field and keeping her there, keeping her alive, that is, then I can go search for her with Coveted Prize. I've got 21 Swamps, 2 Manlands with Hive of the Eye Tyrant, and 1 Field of Ruin, so that gives me 24 lands. For the creatures, I've only got 9. And part of the reason is that I have 4 copies of Tergrid Shadow, so that hopefully I can get a little synergy with Tergrid and make them sacrifice a bunch of stuff. But let's go through the rest of the deck. I've got 1 copy of Blood Beckoning, so if they kill Tergrid, I can bring her back to my hand. 4 copies of Blood Chief's Thirst, so we can take out either creatures or planeswalkers. 1 Compound Fracture. I don't have all 4 copies of this. This is just if I have to take out one little 1/1 creature one time. Okay. 1 Duress to see what's in their hand, make them discard. The discard also works with Tergrid, right? Whenever an opponent sacrifices a non-token permanent or discards a permanent card. So I've got about 4 types of discards in here, and the rest are sacrifice cards. 1 Professor's Warning to make her indestructible. I've got 1 Sphere of Annihilation. This is, instead of having Blood on the Snow, which is what I usually have, this actually exiles the cards. So what you do is, let's say I have 5 mana total. It costs 1 black and then 4 X, and I'll put it down. So any creatures or planeswalkers, both of them, that have mana cost 4 or less, they all get exiled. Also, anything that's in the graveyard already that's mana value less than or equal to that number, they also leave. They also get exiled. So, especially if it's later on in the game, it can actually be more powerful than a Blood on the Snow, because there are some indestructible cards that are there, right? So you can exile those if you have enough mana. And if I do have more than 6 mana, and they have, like a 7 mana or an 8 mana creature, and I've got enough, I could still get rid of them. Okay, Oblivion's Hunger is another card that gives someone indestructible. Vengeful Strangler, they can't block themselves, but if they die, they become this Strangling Gasp enchantment. At the beginning of my upkeep, the permanent's controller sacrifices a non-land permanent, and that player loses 1 life. So they don't have to sacrifice the permanent that the enchantment is attached to, but they usually do, just to get it out of the way. 2 copies of Wither Crown. It's similar, a little bit different. It doesn't work on planeswalkers the way Vengeful Strangler does. You just enchant the creature, and it has base power 0. They lose a life unless they sacrifice that creature. 2 copies of Demogorgon's Clutches. I initially tried with 4 copies just because I thought this was an awesome card. It's a little bit better than some of the other mill cards that are out there, the discard/mill cards. But it usually ends up getting in the way. Like, I'll get too many of them up front, or I'll end up with too many of them later when they're no good. So 2 is a good balance. 2 Demon's Disciples. You can make them sacrifice a creature or a planeswalker. You don't have to make them sacrifice you don't have to sacrifice your disciple, right? You could sacrifice another creature that's on the field, but I usually end up sacrificing my disciple. 1 copy Go Blank in case they have a bunch of stuff that they might bring back from the graveyard and I want to exile their entire graveyard. 1 Skullport Merchant, and give me a treasure. A couple of Soul Shatters. 1 Umbral Juke, again mostly looking to make them sacrifice a creature. 4 Poison the Cups, so it can destroy stuff at instant speed and scry. And 2 Eradicator Valkyries. Black is one of my favorite decks. I play it a lot. I combine it with black and white, so probably my favorite color combination is probably black and white. If I make a black deck from now on, I'm probably always going to have at least 1 Eradicator Valkyrie card in it. Because, for the Boast feature, because when you're playing white has all these pacify effects on your creatures to lock them down. Blue also has ways to tap them down so they don't untap. And that makes your creatures useless, right? Now, I've got a couple ways to deal with them. I could sacrifice them using Demon's Disciple, and that gets utility out of them. Or, if I have Eradicator Valkyrie, I can attack and boast and sacrifice whatever creature is locked down and still get some use out of them to make my opponent sacrifice one of their creatures or planeswalkers. Now, one of the things that I want you to note in the whole deck here is we've got good utility against planeswalkers, more than most decks. So Bloodchief's Thirst, 4 copies of that, it works against planeswalkers, right? Sphere of Annihilation works against planeswalkers. Vengeful Strangler works against planeswalkers. And Demon's Disciple works against planeswalkers. Soul Shatter works against planeswalkers. Eradicator Valkyrie works against planeswalkers. Okay, I am prepared in case anybody comes at me with planeswalkers today. Okay, then we have the Tergrid Shadow. You can foretell, cast it for 4, then each player sacrifices 2 creatures. 1 Baleful Beholder. One of the weaknesses that Black has is they're weak against enchantments, so I usually tend to have 1 copy of Baleful Beholder in there, just in case there's a really troublesome enchantment. If I need it too soon, instead of looking for Tergrid with Coveted Prize, I'll search for the Baleful Beholder. I've got Demon Loathing, Flying Trampler with 7/7. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. That's good to work with Tergrid. And finally, Professor Onyx, their -3 power allows you to sacrifice a creature as well. So that's the deck. We're going to take it out for a spin. We're going to try it out. 61 cards. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And we need some more likes. We've only got a couple of likes. YouTube really likes the likes, which means I like the likes. So I'd like you to like the video. Here we go. Oh boy. Into the Royal, Bain Veil, unsummon, and saw it coming. Let's go ahead and see what he's willing to get rid of. I couldn't destroy the Raven because he had an unsummon ready to just bring him back into his hand. Would think he wouldn't want to give up his dragon. Kind of just got to sit here and take it for a few minutes. There we go. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. That seems fair. Fortunately, I don't have one of my own creatures out yet. I've got just reactionary stuff. That's okay. You've got time. Usually you worry about blue when you're facing them because time is usually on their side. But in this case, we have enough of an arsenal built up. We got about 5 different reactions to different things they could do. Stuff like this could even take out planeswalkers or manlands. Let's see if we can get rid of him now. Okay. We will let you save him. You don't get to put all the counters on him. And I get a creature finally. Let's see, he has a counterspell. Could use Into the Royal. It's strange to use that on a turn when you've got Summoning Sickness on the creature, though. And a couple other cards I don't know what he has. Most of these cards are going to be versions of Unsummon or tapping it down. Really? I don't know why you tapped out on that. Let's see. Do I need that? I don't need that right this second. Yeah. You just don't know what's coming up. That way, if he has with the land with the frost giants, we can just immediately get rid of it. Okay, tapping it down, that's about what I expected. Almost wish it was any other creature other than this one, because if he tapped down another creature, I could use Eradicator Valkyrie to sacrifice the other one that was tapped down. Enchantment? Gross. Let's do this. Nice. Does he have a counterspell? Let's see.
New job, new life, new
I
opportunities.
didn't think you did. We'll take that puppy.
Come on, there's gotta be something useful. Ugh.
If he uses it into the royal. Okay, you save that. You play your kick spell, you get to draw a card, and you get a Drake, so you're probably pretty happy. You still lose 2 life. And my spell still works on you. Just not on the creature you thought it was going to work on. We'll take that one this time.
I have impeccable study habits.
I know these aren't lands, and I know they're not counterspells. So are they all just things to tap down? Let's see. You've got some worthless cards in there. Let's go ahead and get rid of them anyway. Getting all of Tergrid's Shadow, but none of Tergrid. Okay, 2 unsummons. Yep. Those aren't going to do you any good at all. Yeah, let's get him.
Let's go digging.
What's left for you, buddy? You're about to lose the game. Bubble snare! I like that.
Whatever. What a waste of my time. Let me demonstrate what a real master of necromancy looks like.
Ta-da! How about that? We got Tergrid right up front. That is unusual. Let's see if we can get rid of some of their ammo now. Those are good cards to get rid of. Damage. We don't care about direct damage so much. We do care what else you have in your hand, though. Royal Eruption. Okay. That was not the land I wanted. Alright. But we're taking too much damage. We can't wait to get Tergrid down. We have to get rid of that thing now. We haven't put down a single creature yet, so hopefully he thinks that we're a creatureless deck. And that way, everything that he sends our way will be direct damage only. Alright. This is for all of it. No counterspell. Thank you. Also, hopefully no Pigment Storm. Sleep. Okay. Sleep is actually pretty good. I'll take some sleep. As we all just flood out together. You're all tapped out, so you're going to lose that thing, and we get it. And they don't even let us do it once before they scoop. He must have previous experience with Tergrid. Well, as long as I don't flood out on land, I like having a lot of land to begin with. This gives us stuff to do on rounds 2, 3, and 4. Pretty good for the mana curve. What do we want to do, though? I don't really want to do anything against her. She's such a cute little kid. May come back to bite us. What happens if we let him choose? Who would you lose out of the two? Okay. Interesting choice, right? What else you got up there? We like to give them difficult decisions. Oh, it's always lovely to make them ditch at least one Blizzard Brawl. Okay. There goes another one. Let's see. 4, 5, 6. I am going to need the land in order to get down Onyx. So we'll go ahead and take the land first, I guess. And let's just go ahead and clear the board. That's what I like to see. Ooh. They do have counter spells. How many do you have in a row?
If I won't be given a second chance, I'll make my own.
Yeah, we'll take that.
I have impeccable study habits. Come on, there's gotta be something useful. Ugh.
Nice. Kiss a goodbye. Am I getting enough land?
Ugh. There has to be an answer here.
At this rate, I can... Ooh, nice. We'll go get some more stuff.
I never thought
Hold
I'd
on
miss
to our
the
Demon of
library.
Loathing. A rampaging Brontodon. Oh, but you're tapped out because of that. Oh, too bad. We want to land. Because we want to foretell.
There has to be an answer here.
And they quit. I could have just minus the 8, but I wanted to see what else they might have. And usually when they scoop, that means they don't have anything. It looks like a decent start to me. I guess a legitimate question is, if they have Tergrid, are they going to play Tergrid's Lantern on me before I can play Tergrid on them? Oh, look at that. Kind of a discard deck going on here. Okay, we'll get rid of the expensive card, and we'll get rid of that one. Right back at you, buddy. What did we all lose here? Burning Rune Demon? Swamp and Cladding. Okay. Control. You come down. You go away. Three for 5. Don't have enough for him right now, but I don't want to lose him forever. I don't want to throw him all the way back. Okay, so you completed the first dungeon, and it did nothing for you. What else you got? Probably removal, right? Yep. You have 2 of those in a row. I'm just going to dissolve my Eradicator and call it a day. Okay. I don't have hexproof though, so if he's got another one of those, I'm in trouble. We'll just cast that instead of lose it. Vorpal Sword. That is not going to do you any good. Not unless you have haste. And 8 mana. And Demon of Loathing is an old card. It's kind of cool to get this kind of use out of it more than 20 years later. Showing what kind of stuff we had going on. You didn't want to hang around for that. Okay, that's the deck, and it might do better with an extra Tergrid. I don't have a second one just yet. We got most of these cards out. I think we got to see almost everything in the 4 matches that we played. Yeah, pretty sure we did. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with the deck. It's not the be-all, end-all deck. It's probably not competitive, especially against Mono Green. Mono Green is still heavy in the meta right now. And if Mono Green is ready with their creatures at the beginning, we usually have a combination of sacrifice and discard. And we usually have enough mana to do one or the other. And it's still usually not fast enough to keep pace with the threats they generate every single turn. So, you know, there's other things that can... one other piece of advice I would say on this deck is if you only get 2 lands in the beginning, you better have some really good spells, a lot of your 1 and 2 drops, or you should mulligan. And I don't usually advocate mulliganing a lot, but on this one I had too many problems during my playtesting where I just get 2 lands, and, you know, I get enough mana just a turn too late to do me any good. And so that's my advice, but it is fun. A lot of times as soon as they see Tergrid, you know, they'll scoop, and you don't really get to actually use Tergrid's ability all that much. You're just sort of hoping for a new person who hasn't seen it before, who wants to see all their creatures disappear from their side of the board and join your side of the board. But other than that, you know, you did pretty good. So come back next time, because there's always going to be another new deck right around the corner at Tpull's Corner. Have a good one.